Chris Brown. In today's video we'll learn about Chris Brown. Going through the sections: abstract, early life, career, artistry, personal life and legal issues, business ventures, external links. Abstract. Christopher Maurice Brown is an American singer, songwriter, dancer, and actor. Born in Tappahannock, Virginia, he was involved in his church choir and several local talent shows from a young age. Having signed with Jive Records in 2004, Brown released his self-titled debut studio album the following year, which became certified double platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. With his first single Run It peaking atop the Billboard Hot 100, Brown became the first male artist since 1997 to have his debut single top the chart. His second album Exclusive, 2007, spawned his second Billboard Hot 100 number 1 Kiss Kiss. In addition to his solo commercial success, Brown has been featured on several successful singles such as No Air, a duet with singer Jordan Sparks, Shorty Like Mine with the rapper Bow Wow and Shawty Get Loose alongside Lil Mama and T-Pain. In 2009, Brown pled guilty to felony assault of his then-girlfriend, singer Rihanna. Following the release of his third album Graffiti in the same year of the incident, Brown's fourth album FAME, 2011, became his first to top the Billboard 200 and earned him the Grammy Award for Best R&B Album. His fifth album Fortune, released in 2012, also topped the Billboard 200. Following the releases of X, Royalty and Heartbreak on a Full Moon, Brown's ninth studio album Indigo, 2019, became his third Billboard 200 number 1 album. It included his biggest hit in years, No Guidance, which peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. Brown has sold over 140 million records worldwide, making him one of the world's best-selling music artists. Throughout his career, Brown has won several awards, including a Grammy Award, 15 BET Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, and 6 Soul Train Music Awards. According to Billboard, Brown has the 7th most Billboard Hot 100 entries with 93. Brown has pursued an acting career, and his personal life has been publicized. In 2007, he made his on-screen feature film debut in Stomp the Yard, and appeared as a guest on the television series The OC. Other films Brown has appeared in include This Christmas, 2007, Takers, 2010, Think Like a Man, 2012, and Battle of the Year, 2013. This project compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Why should I watch it? Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Provide your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video, thanks. Early life. Christopher Maurice Brown was born on May 5, 1989, in the small town of Tappahannock, Virginia, to Joyce Hawkins, a former daycare center director, and Clinton Brown, a corrections officer at a local prison. He has an older sister, Lytrell Bundy, who works in a bank. Music was always present in Brown's life beginning in his childhood. He would listen to soul albums that his parents owned, and eventually began to show interest in the hip-hop scene. Brown taught himself to sing and dance at a young age and often cites Michael Jackson as his inspiration. He began to perform in his church choir and in several local talent shows. When he mimicked an Usher performance of My Way, his mother recognized his vocal talent, and they began to look for the opportunity of a record deal. At the same time, Brown was going through personal issues. His parents had divorced, and his mother's boyfriend terrified him by subjecting her to domestic violence. Career. At age 13, Brown was discovered by Hit Mission Records, a local production team that visited his father's gas station while searching for new talent. Hit Mission's Lamont Fleming provided voice coaching for Brown, and the team helped to arrange a demo package and approached contacts in New York to seek a record deal. Tina Davis, senior A&R executive at Def Jam Recordings, was impressed when Brown auditioned in her New York office, and she immediately took him to meet the former president of the Island Def Jam Music Group, Antonio L.A. Reid, who offered to sign him that day. I knew that Chris had real talent, says Davis. I just knew I wanted to be part of it. The negotiations with Def Jam continued for 2 months, and Davis then lost her job due to a corporate merger. Brown asked her to be his manager, and once Davis accepted, she promoted the singer to labels such as Jive Records, J Records and Warner Brothers Records. According to Mark Pitts in an interview with Hit Quarters, Davis presented Brown with a video recording, and Pitts' reaction was, "I saw the potential. I didn't love all the records, but I loved his voice. It wasn't a problem because I knew that he could sing, and I knew how to make records." Brown ultimately chose Jive due to its successful work with then young acts such as Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. Brown stated, "I picked Jive because they had the best success with younger artists in the pop market. I knew I was going to capture my African American audience, but Jive had a lot of strength in the pop area as well as longevity in careers." Brown attended Essex High School in Virginia until early 2005, when he moved to New York to pursue his music career. After being signed to Jive Records in 2004, Brown began recording his self-titled debut studio album in February 2005. By May, there were 50 songs already recorded, 14 of which were picked to the final track listing. The singer worked with several producers and songwriters Scott Storch, Cool and Dre and Jazzy F among them, commenting that they really believed in. Brown also made some input on the album, receiving co-writing credits of 5 tracks. "I write about the things that 16-year-olds go through every day," says Brown. "Like you just got in trouble for sneaking your girl into the house, or you can't drive, so you steal a car or something." The whole album took less than 8 weeks to produce. Released on November 29, 2005, the self-titled Chris Brown album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 with first-week sales of 154,000 copies. Chris Brown was a relative commercial success with the time, selling over 2 million copies in the United States, where it was certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA, and 3 million copies worldwide. The album's lead single, "Run It," made Brown the first male act, since Montel Jordan in 1995, to have his debut single to reach the summit of the Billboard Hot 100, later remaining for 4 additional weeks. 3 of the off-air singles, Yo, Excuse Me Miss, Gimme That and Say Goodbye, peaked within the top 20 at the same chart. On June 13, 2006, Brown released a DVD entitled Chris Brown's Journey, which shows footage of him traveling in England and Japan, getting ready for his first visit to the Grammy Awards, behind the scenes of his music videos and bloopers. On August 17, 2006, to further promote the album, Brown began his major co-headlining tour, the Up Close and Personal Tour. Due to the tour, production for his next album was pushed back 2 months. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital received $10,000 in ticket proceeds from Brown's 2006 Up Close and Personal Tour. Brown has made appearances on UPN's One-on-One and the Ens Brandon T. Jackson Show on its pilot episode. In January 2007, Brown landed a small role as a band geek in the 4th season of the American television series The O.C. Brown then made his film debut in Stomp the Yard, alongside Neo, Megan Good and Columbus Short on January 12, 2007. In April 2007, Brown was the opening act for Beyonce, on the Australian leg of her The Beyonce Experience Tour. On July 9, 2007, Brown was featured in an episode of MTV's My Super Sweet 16 celebrating his 18th birthday in New York City. In November 2007, Brown starred as a video host for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital's Mathathon program. He showed his support by encouraging students to use their math skills to help children with cancer and other catastrophic diseases. Shortly after ending his summer tour with Neo, Brown quickly began production for his second studio album, Exclusive, which was released in the United States on November 6, 2007. The album debuted at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, selling 294,000 copies in its first week, and received generally positive reviews from music critics. As of March 23, 2011, it has sold over 1.9 million copies in the United States. The album's lead single, Wall to Wall, peaked at number 79 on U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, and number 22 on the U.S. Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart. Kiss Kiss, featuring and produced by T-Pain, was released as the album's second single. It reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, and became Brown's second number 1 single following Run It. In 2005, With You, a song produced by Stargate, was released as the third single from Exclusive, and reached number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart. On November 21, 2007, Brown appeared in This Christmas, a family drama starring Regina King. To further support the album Exclusive, Brown embarked on his The Exclusive Holiday Tour, visiting over 30 venues in United States. The tour began in Cincinnati, Ohio, on December 6, 2007, and concluded on February 9, 2008, in Honolulu, Hawaii. In March 2008, Brown was featured on Jordan Sparks' single No Air, which peaked at number 3 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. He also made a guest appearance on Ludacris' single What Them Girls Like alongside Sean Garrett. The song peaked at number 17 on the US Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart, and number 8 on the US Hot Rap Songs chart. Brown released Exclusive on June 3, 2008, as a deluxe edition, renamed Exclusive, the Forever Edition, 7 months after the release of the original version. The re-released version featured 4 new tracks, including the single Forever, which reached number 2 on Billboard Hot 100. In August 2008, Brown guest starred on Disney's The Suite Life of Zack and Cody as himself. In October 2008, he was featured on T-Pain's single Freeze, from his third studio album 3 Rings. Towards the end of 2008, Brown was named Artist of the Year by Billboard magazine. In 2008, Brown began work on his third studio album, to be called Graffiti, promising to experiment with a different musical direction while hoping to emulate singers Prince and Michael Jackson. He stated, "I wanted to change it up and really be different. Like my style nowadays, I don't try to be typical urban. I want to be like how Prince, Michael and Stevie Wonder were. They can cross over to any genre of music." The album's lead single I Can Transform Ya was released on September 29, 2009. The song peaked at number 20 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart, and number 11 on the US Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart. Crawl was released as the album's second single on November 23, 2009. The song reached number 53 on the Billboard Hot 100. Graffiti was then released on December 8, 2009. The album debuted at number 7 on the US Billboard 200 chart, selling 102,000 copies in its first week, but received generally negative reviews from critics. As of March 23, 2011, it has sold 341,000 copies in the United States. While performing a Michael Jackson tribute at the 2010 BET Awards, Brown started to cry and fell to his knees while singing Jackson's Man in the Mirror. The performance and his emotional turmoil resonated with several celebrities present at the ceremony, including Trey Songz, Diddy and Taraji P. Henson. Songz said, "He left his heart on the stage. He gave genuine emotion. I was proud of him and I was happy for him for having that moment." Michael's brother, Jermaine Jackson, expressed similar sentiments stating, "It was very emotional for me, because it was an acceptance from his fans from what has happened to him and also paying tribute to my brother." Later during the award ceremony, Brown stated, "I let y'all down before, but I won't do it again, I promise," while accepting the award for the AOL Fandemonium Prize. In May 2010, Brown released a collaborative mixtape with Tyga, titled Fan of a Fan. Deuces, which features Tyga and Kevin McCall, was released from the mixtape in the United States on June 29, 2010. The song peaked at number 1 on US Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart for 7 non-consecutive weeks, giving Brown his first number 1 on the chart since his 2006 hit single, Say Goodbye. It also peaked at number 14 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. In August 2010, Brown starred alongside an ensemble cast, including Matt Dillon, Paul Walker, Idris Elba, Hayden Christensen and T.I. in the crime thriller Takers, and also served as executive producer of the film. Brown's fourth studio album FAME was first released on March 18, 2011. Although it received mixed critical reviews, the album debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, with first-week sales of 270,000 copies, giving Brown his first number 1 album in the United States. Its lead single, Yeah, 3 Times, reached the top 10 in 11 countries, including Australia, Austria, Denmark, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, Switzerland and the United Kingdom. The album's second single, Look at Me Now, featuring rappers Lil Wayne and Busta Rhymes, reached number 1 on the US Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart, where it remained for 8 consecutive weeks. It also reached number 1 on the US Hot Rap Songs chart. The album's third single, Beautiful People, featuring Benny Benassi, peaked at number 1 on the US Hot Dance Club Songs chart, and became the first number 1 single on the chart for both Brown and Benassi. She Ain't You was released as the album's fourth US single, while Next to You, featuring Canadian recording artist Justin Bieber, served as the album's fourth international single. To further promote the album, Brown embarked on his FAME tour in Australia and North America. Brown received 6 nominations at the 2011 BET Awards and ultimately won 5 awards, including Best Male R&B Artist, Viewer's Choice Award, the Fandemonium Award, Best Collaboration and Video of the Year for Look at Me Now. He also won 3 awards at the 2011 BET Hip Hop Awards, including the People's Champ Award, Reese's Perfect Combo Award and Best Hip Hop Video for Look at Me Now. At the 2011 Soul Train Music Awards, FAME won Album of the Year. The album has also earned Brown 3 Grammy Award nominations at the 54th Grammy Awards for Best R&B Album, as well as Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song for Look at Me Now. On February 12, 2012, Brown won the Grammy Award for Best R&B Album. During the ceremony, Brown performed several songs marking his first appearance at the award show since his conviction of felony assault. On October 7, 2011, RCA Music Group announced it was disbanding Jive Records along with Arista Records and J Records. With the shutdown, Brown, and all other artists previously signed to these 3 labels, will release future material on the RCA Records brand. Brown's 5th studio album Fortune was released on July 3, 2012. The album debuted atop the Billboard 200, but received once again negative reviews from critics. Strip, featuring Kevin McCall, was released as the album's best single, with Turn Up the Music released as the lead single, and Sweet Love, Till I Die, Don't Wake Me Up and Don't Judge Me released as the album's following singles, respectively. To further promote the album, Brown embarked on his Carpe Diem tour in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Trinidad. On August 9, 2013 at 1:09 a.m. PDT, Brown was reported to have suffered a seizure from Record Plant Studios in Hollywood, California as a 911 call was made. When paramedics arrived, Brown allegedly refused to receive treatment and also refused to be transported to the local hospital. Brown has reportedly suffered from seizures since his childhood. The next day, Brown's representative reported the seizure was caused by intense fatigue and extreme emotional stress, both due to the continued onslaught of unfounded legal matters and the non-stop negativity. On November 20, 2013, Brown was sentenced to an anger management rehabilitation center for 3 months, putting the December 2013 release of X in jeopardy. To hold over until drops, Brown released a mixtape, titled X-Files on November 19, 2013. On February 22, 2014, it was announced that the album would be released on Brown's birthday, May 5, 2014. On April 14, 2014, Brown released a teaser of the new track Don't Be Gone Too Long featuring Ariana Grande. However, on October 27, 2013, Brown was arrested for felony assault in Washington, D.C., the fight allegedly having started when 2 women wanted to take a picture with Brown in front of the W Hotel, and the song and album were again delayed due to Brown's prison sentence. On August 3, 2014, Chris announced via Instagram that the album's release date will be on September 16, 2014. On August 6, 2014, the album cover was revealed. The title track X was released as an instant gratification track alongside the album pre-order on iTunes on August 25, 2014. Brown's 6th studio album, X was released on September 16, 2014. The album's lead single, Fine China, was released on April 1, 2013, and sent to US. 40 Radio on April 9. The album features a guest appearance by Kendrick Lamar and production from Diplo and Danja. X debuted at number 2 on US Billboard 200 charts with first week sales of 145,644 copies. On February 24, 2015, Brown released his first collaborative studio album with Tyga, titled Fan of a Fan, The Album. The album was a follow-up to the pair's 2010 mixtape Fan of a Fan. In early 2015, Brown also embarked on his Between the Sheets tour with Trey Songz. In spring of 2015, Brown was featured on DJ Deoro's song 5 More Hours. On June 24, Brown released a new song titled Liquor. Shortly after, it was announced that Liquor was the first single from his 7th studio album. On August 22, 2015, the singer officially declares from his Twitter profile that the new album will be titled Royalty in honor of his daughter, Royalty Brown. On October 16, he has revealed the album cover, portraying Chris with Royalty in her arms in a black and white picture. On October 13, 2015, Brown announced that Royalty will be released on November 27, 2015. After it was revealed that the album has been pushed back to December 18, 2015, in exchange on November 27, 2015, he released a Frey E34-track mixtape called Before the Party as a prelude to Royalty, which features guest appearances from Rihanna, Wiz Khalifa, Pusha T, Wale, Tyga, French Montana, and Fetty Wap. On October 16, 2015, the album cover was revealed. The album was released on December 18, 2015, and it debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200, selling 184,000 units, 162,000 in pure album sales, in its first week, marking an improvement over Brown's last 3 studio albums. It also became his 7th solo album consecutive top 10 debut in the United States. In March 2016, he collaborated again with the Italian DJ Benny Benassi for the song Paradise from the album Danceaholic. On May 1, 2016, Brown announced that his next album title would be Heartbreak on a Full Moon. The lead single Grass Ain't Greener was released on May 5, 2016. In May 2016, Brown became the face of sneaker and streetwear retailer Snipes' Spring/Summer 2016 campaign. On December 16, 2016, Brown released the second single Party featuring Gucci Mane and Usher. Heartbreak on a Full Moon was eventually released as a double-disc album on October 31, 2017 via digital retailers and onto CD, 3 days later by RCA Records. The album received positive reviews from critics, who celebrated the record's variety, its length, and its introspective lyrical content. Heartbreak on a Full Moon debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200, becoming Brown's 9th consecutive top 10 album on the chart. On March 15, 2018, Brown was featured in a new Lil Dicky single, Freaky Friday, and its music video. By April 9, 2018, the video had reached over 100 million views and topped the charts in New Zealand and the United Kingdom. On July 20, 2018, while on tour together, rapper Rich the Kid revealed via Instagram him and Chris Brown are recording a joint album. Brown and rapper Joyner Lucas also announced their collaboration project, titled Angels and Demons, on February 25, 2018. Both projects are yet to be released. In 2019, Brown signed an extension and a new license agreement with this label RCA Records. With the new deal in place, Brown will own his master recordings, making him one of the youngest artists to do so at the age of 29. On January 4, 2019, Chris Brown released Undecided, the first single off his 9th album, Indigo, alongside a video for the song. Undecided saw Brown reunite with producer Scott Storch, who previously worked with Brown in 2005 on his breakout hit Run It. On February 4, he appeared on the Trey Songz single Chi Chi. On April 11, he released the second single off the album titled Back to Love. The third single, Wobble Up, was released a week later featuring Nicki Minaj and G-Eazy, announcing that the album is expected to be released in June. On April 25, he appeared on a track with Marshmello and Tyga called Light It Up. In an announcement on May 2, Brown revealed the list of artists he's been working with for his album, everybody from Nicki Minaj, Tory Lanez, Tyga, Justin Bieber, Juicy J, Juvenile, Her, Tank, Sage the Gemini, Lil Jon, Lil Wayne, Joyner Lucas, Gunna and Drake were included on the list. Some of these collaborations were surprising to the media, especially Drake, due to their public feud that lasted for several years. He later revealed the artwork of the album and its track list between May and June 2019. On June 8, Brown released No Guidance featuring Drake as a single. It debuted at number 9 on the US Billboard Hot 100, making it Brown's 15th top 10 song, and later peaked at number 6. Indigo was eventually released on June 28, 2019 as a double album, marking Brown's second album to be released in this style. In the United States, Indigo debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 with 108,000 album equivalent units, which included 28,000 pure album sales in its first week, making it his third number 1 album in the country. The album also accumulated 97.95 million on-demand audio streams in the United States for its track list of 32 songs. The album spawned a number of other singles, including Heat, which topped the Billboard Rhythmic Airplay chart, and earned Brown his 13th number 1 on the chart, and second during 2019. On May 1, 2020, Chris Brown was featured on Drake's Dark Demo Tapes mixtape on the track Not You Too. The song earned Brown his 100th career entry on the US Billboard Hot 100, as it entered and debuted at number 25. On April 29, 2020, Chris Brown announced the release of a collaborative mixtape with Young Thug, Slime and B. It was released on May 5, 2020, and features the hit single Go Crazy. On July 9, 2020, Brown announced via Instagram that the title of his 10th album would be Breezy, a reference to his nickname. No release date has been announced yet. Artistry. Brown has cited a number of artists as his inspiration, predominantly Michael Jackson. Brown emphasizes Michael Jackson is the reason why I do music and why I am an entertainer. In Fine China, he exemplifies Jackson's influence both musically and visually as Ebony magazine's Brittany Danielle asserted that the song was reminiscent of Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. Choreographically, MTV noticed that it takes distinct visual cues from classic clips like Smooth Criminal and Beat It, while billboards complimented his appearance by calling it a modern way to channel the king of pop. Usher is also another influence who comes across as a more contemporary figure for Brown. He tells Vibe magazine he was the one who the youngsters looked up to. I know that we, in the dancing and singing world, looked up to him, and maintains if it wasn't for Usher, then Chris Brown couldn't exist. Other influences include Marvin Gaye, New Edition and R. Kelly. Music critics have commended Brown's introduction to R&B, recognizing his modern-day adaptations as well as versatility. Vibe's Sienna Robertson says as traditional R&B flourished around him, the young singer began an evolution of the genre. She saw his debut single Run It as a prelude to what Brown would continue to do for the next decade, relentlessly disrupt the constructs of rhythm and blues. By his sophomore album Exclusive, she says he was tapping more electric up-tempos, swimming deep in hip-hop waters and annihilating the pop arena. Describing the Grammy Award-winning FAME as his most diverse offering to date, she remarked there was no level of musical flexibility comparable. There still isn't. In films such as Stomp the Yard and Battle of the Year, he displayed his ability to break dance. Brown possesses a light lyric tenor voice, which spans 3.5 octaves, rising from the bass F2, to its peak at the soprano C. His vocal ability was first recognized by his mother at a young age. As Brown tells People magazine, I was 11 and watching Usher perform My Way, and I started trying to mimic it. My mom was like, "You can sing?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, mama." Subsequently leading to the start of his career. Take You Down most notably earned him a Grammy Award nomination for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance in 2009. Brown has produced street art under the pseudonym Confused, partnering with street artist Kai to produce works for the Miami Basel. Personal life and legal issues. From 2007 to 2009, Brown dated singer Rihanna until their highly publicized domestic violence case. In 2011, Brown began dating aspiring model Karwache Tran. In October 2012, Brown announced that he ended his relationship with Tran because he did not want to see her hurt over my friendship with Rihanna. The day after the announcement, Brown released a video entitled The Real Chris Brown, which features images of himself, Tran, and Rihanna, as Brown wonders, is there such thing as loving two people? I don't know if it's possible, but I feel like that. In January 2013, Rihanna confirmed that she and Brown had resumed their romantic relationship, stating, "It's different now. We don't have those types of arguments anymore. We talk about shit. We value each other. We know exactly what we have now, and we don't want to lose that." Speaking of Brown, Rihanna also said, "He's not the monster everybody thinks. He's a good person. He has a fantastic heart. He's giving and loving. And he's fun to be around. That's what I love about him. He always makes me laugh. All I want to do is laugh, really, and I do that with him." However, she also declared that she would walk away if Brown showed a hint of his past violent behavior towards her again. In a May 2013 interview, Brown stated that he and Rihanna had broken up again. He subsequently reunited with Tran, but they parted ways following confirmation of Brown's daughter royalty with Nia Guzman in 2015. Tran later filed for and received a 5-year restraining order against Brown in 2017. On November 20, 2019, Brown welcomed his second child, son Nico Katori Brown, with Amika Harris, Pietzker. When discussing his upbringing, Brown stated, "We were used to 2 pairs of shoes for a school year. We used to go to church every day. I was one of those kids that had more church clothes than school clothes." He has also discussed his second work of grace, saying that he experienced the Holy Ghost while performing his Eyes on the Sparrow in church. After being released from jail on June 2, 2014, Brown wrote that he was humbled and blessed and tweeted the words "Thank you God." At around 12:30 a.m. PST, on February 8, 2009, Brown and his then-girlfriend, singer Rihanna, had an argument which escalated into physical violence, leaving Rihanna with visible facial injuries which required hospitalization. Brown turned himself into the Los Angeles Police Department's Wilshire station at 6:30 p.m. PST, and was booked under suspicion of making criminal threats. The police report did not name the female in the incident as is policy, but media sources soon revealed that the victim was Rihanna. Following Brown's arrest, several commercial ads and some TV shows featuring him were suspended, his music was withdrawn from multiple radio stations, and he withdrew from public appearances, including one at the 2009 Grammy Awards, where he was replaced by Justin Timberlake and Al Green. Brown hired a crisis management team and released a statement saying, "Words cannot begin to express how sorry and saddened I am over what transpired." On March 5, 2009, Brown was charged with felony assault and making criminal threats. He was arraigned on April 6, 2009, and pleaded not guilty to one count of assault and one count of making criminal threats. On June 22, 2009, Brown pleaded guilty to a felony and accepted a plea deal of community labor, 5 years of probation, and domestic violence counseling. Several organizations against domestic violence criticized the plea deal, advocating the punishment was not severe enough for the crime. The level of Brown's influence over youth also came under scrutiny. On July 20, 2009, Brown released a 2-minute video on his official YouTube page apologizing to fans and Rihanna for the assault, expressing the incident as his deepest regret and saying that he has repeatedly apologized to Rihanna and accepts full responsibility. In the video, Brown said he wanted to speak out earlier about the case but was advised by his attorney not to until the legal ramifications were settled. The video was removed, but is still available online. On August 25, Brown received 5 years of probation. He was ordered to attend 1 year of domestic violence counseling and undergo 6 months of community service. The judge retained a 5-year restraining order on Brown, which required him to remain 50 yards, 45.72 meters, away from Rihanna, reduced to 10 yards at public events. Andy Kellman of AllMusic stated, "A fairly substantial backlash resulted in Brown's songs being pulled from rotation on several radio stations. Ultimately, however, it had little bearing on the progress of his music and acting careers." On September 2, 2009, Brown spoke about the domestic violence case in a pre-recorded Larry King Live interview, his first public interview about the matter. He was accompanied to the interview by his mother, Joyce Hawkins, and attorney Mark Garrigos, as he discussed growing up in a household with his mother being repeatedly assaulted by his stepfather. Brown said of hearing details of his assault of Rihanna, "I'm in shock, because, first of all, that's not who I am as a person, and that's not who I promise I want to be." Brown's mother said Brown has never, ever been a violent person, ever, and that she does not believe in the cycle of violence. Brown said that it is tough for him to look at the famous photograph released of Rihanna's battered face, which may be the one image to haunt and define him forever, and that he still loved her. "I'm pretty sure we can always be friends," said Brown, "and I don't know about our relationship, but I just know definitely that we ended as friends." He stated he did not feel that his career was over, and likened his relationship with Rihanna to Romeo and Juliet, blaming the media attention in the aftermath of the assault for driving them apart. When asked if he had any memory of assaulting Rihanna, he said he did not, but realized that it occurred, and was sorry for his actions. However, following criticism of saying he did not remember, he later said in a statement, "Of course I remember what happened. Several times during the interview, my mother said that I came to her right afterwards and told her everything." Brown said despite this, was and still is a blur. In June 2010, Brown's application for a visa to enter the UK was rejected on the grounds of him being guilty of a serious criminal offence due to his assault on Rihanna. Brown had been planning to do a tour of British cities as part of a European tour, but Sony stated that due to issues surrounding his work visa the tour was to be postponed. In February 2011, at the request of Brown's lawyer, Judge Patricia Schnig modified with Rihanna's agreement the restraining order to a Level 1 order, allowing both singers to appear at awards shows together in the future. The following month, on March 22, 2011, during an interview with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America at the Times Square studios, where he was asked about the Rihanna situation and restraining order, Brown became violent in his dressing room during a commercial break before his second performance ending that day's program, and threw an object at a window overlooking Times Square, causing damage to the window. He then took off his shirt, and after several angry confrontations with the segment producer, other show staff and building security, left the building shirtless. Following the incident, he said that he was tired of people bringing up the incident. On July 11, 2012, Brown's community service was evaluated and he was ordered to meet a judge. The evaluation was ordered by Superior Court Judge Patricia Schneeg on July 10, 2012. He was scheduled to appear in court with regard to the evaluation on August 21, 2012. While conducting his community service in Virginia, however, Brown was tested positive for cannabis and appeared in court on September 25, 2012, at which time his hearing date was changed to November, to determine whether or not he had violated the terms of his court order. He reappeared in court on November 1, 2012, to ascertain whether or not he had violated his probation less than 24 hours after attending the same party as Rihanna, dressed as an Islamic terrorist. He attempted to address the court and was told by his lawyer, Mark Garagos, "I don't dance, you don't talk." Later that year, in September, Brown received criticism for a new neck tattoo that appeared to be the face of a battered woman, prompting allegations that the tattoo was a depiction of Rihanna. Brown's publicist stated that the tattoo does not depict a battered woman and is instead a design derived from a Day of the Dead sugar skull. On March 20, 2015, Brown's probation ended, formally closing the felony case emanating from the Rihanna assault which happened over 6 years prior. In a 2017 self-documentary, Welcome to My Life, Brown goes into detail about the abusive relationship, saying he intended to marry Rihanna, but that he lost her trust after he lied about a sexual encounter with someone who worked with him, that happened prior to their relationship. On October 30, 2013, Brown voluntarily decided to enter rehab. After Brown completed his 90 days, the judge ordered him to remain a resident at the Malibu treatment facility until a hearing on April 23, 2014. The deal was if Brown left rehab, he would go directly to jail. On March 14, 2014, Brown was kicked out of the rehab facility and sent to Northern Neck Regional Jail for violating internal rules. He was expected to be released on April 23, 2014, but a judge denied his release request from custody either on bail or his own recognizance. At his May 9, 2014 court date, Brown was ordered to serve 131 days in jail for his probation violation. He was sentenced to serve 365 days in custody, however, he was given credit for the 234 days he has already spent in rehab and jail. He was given early release from jail just after midnight on June 2, 2014, because of jail overcrowding calculations that count 1 day in custody as 2 days. During Brown's rehab, a probation officer noted in a letter that Brown's brushes with the law may have been caused by untreated bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, specifically that Mr. Brown became aggressive and acted out physically due to his untreated mental health disorder, severe sleep deprivation, inappropriate self-medicating and untreated PTSD. According to the court documents, which were received by E! News and later The Hollywood Reporter, Brown was formally diagnosed with both bipolar II and PTSD at the unnamed rehab facility. On June 14, 2012, Drake and his entourage were involved in a scuffle with Brown at a nightclub called VIP in the Soho neighborhood of New York City. About 8 people were injured during the brawl, including San Antonio Spurs star Tony Parker, who had to have surgery to remove a piece of glass from his eye. Drake was not arrested. Brown's attorney alleged Drake was the instigator. Brown himself tweeted about the incident and released a song criticizing Drake weeks later. In January 2013, Brown was involved in an altercation with Frank Ocean over a parking space outside a recording studio in West Hollywood. Police officers in Los Angeles said that Brown was under investigation, describing the incident as battery due to Brown allegedly punching Ocean. Although Ocean alleged that Brown had threatened to shoot him, he said he would not press charges. In July 2013, Brown's probation was revoked after he was involved in an alleged hit-and-run in Los Angeles. He was released from court and was scheduled to reappear in August 2013, to learn whether or not he would serve time in prison. The charges would later be dropped, but Brown would have 1,000 additional hours of community service added to his probation terms. In October 2013, Brown was arrested for felony assault in Washington, D.C., after refusing to take a picture with 2 men. The charge was reduced to a misdemeanor. Brown spent 36 hours in a Washington jail and was taken to court in shackles. He was released and ordered to report to his California probation officer within 48 hours. The probation officer prepared a report for the Los Angeles judge, who could have ordered him to complete as many as 4 years in prison for the beating of Rihanna if found to be in violation of his probation. The leadership of the Iglesia Ni Cristo, a Philippine-based religious sect, filed a fraud complaint against Brown for not appearing at a New Year's Eve show held at the Iglesia Ni Cristo-owned Philippine Arena on December 31, 2014. The Iglesia Ni Cristo's chief legal advisor, Gliceri Os Santos IV, acting on behalf of their Medligaia Development Corporation, who manages the Philippine arena, requested assistance from Justice Secretary Leila de Lima on prosecuting the case. De Lima confirmed that she issued a lookout bulletin order against Brown, meaning that he would have to confront and disprove the allegations of fraud in order to acquire an immigration clearance certificate which would allow him to leave the country. In late afternoon of July 24, 2015, he was permitted to leave the Philippines. In the early hours of August 30, 2016, a woman called the police to report that Brown had threatened her with a gun inside his house. Due to his previous felony assault conviction, Brown is prohibited to possess any firearms. Police were called, but Brown denied them entry without a warrant. When they returned with one, Brown refused them entry and began what news sources referred to as a standoff with the LAPD, including the Robbery Homicide Division and SWAT team. During this time, Brown was seen posting videos on Instagram, in which he rails against the police and the media coverage of the activity at his house. He denounced media reports that he was barricaded inside his house, complained about the helicopters flying overhead, and called the police idiots and the worst gang in the world. He said that he was innocent and what I do care about is you are defacing my name and my character and integrity. Brown was arrested and later released from jail on $250,000 bail. On September 1, 2016, Brown's lawyer, Mark Garagos, stated that there was no standoff and that, with regard to the LAPD search, nothing was found to corroborate her statement. In September, Japan denied Brown entry due to the allegations. Charges were later dropped after prosecutors declined to arraign Brown on the felony charges. As of 2016, due to his criminal record, Brown is banned from entering Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Business ventures. In 2007, Brown founded the record label CBE, Chris Brown Entertainment or Culture Beyond Your Evolution, under Interscope Records. Brown has since signed frequent collaborator Kevin McCall, singer Sabrina Antoinette, former Rich Girl member Seven Streeter, singer/songwriter Joel James, and rock group UGLY. Brown has stated he owns 14 Burger King restaurants. In 2012, he launched a clothing line called Black Pyramid, in collaboration with the founders of the Pink Plus Dolphin clothing line. Black Pyramid's official Instagram account has gained over 1 million Instagram followers by the end of 2019.